Well, good afternoon, YouTube. This is Pastor Lavelle Jennings here again on the Gazebo Talk. I have with me today a very special guest who has a lot of history about Idlewild, Michigan and Baldwin because we're in that setting. And you know how excited I am about the history and learning things that I did not know. And I know you are too. So we have today with us Mrs. Nelson. And we're going to have her introduce herself in a moment. But stay tuned and enjoy and listen to the history that will be given. Would you please introduce yourself?
I'm Brenda Nelson.
Okay. Miss Nelson, if I can call you and say it like that, or would you prefer Brenda?
No, that doesn't matter.
All right. Well, Miss Nelson, how long have you lived in Baldwin?
I don't. I live in Idlewild.
Thank you. How long have you lived in Ottawa? Thank you for the correction.
I've lived in Idlewild this year 20 years, permanently,
20
year-round.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me ask you the difference, because I always connect Baldwin with Ottawa, but would you explain the difference?
Oh, yes, there's a big difference.
Okay.
Idlewild is a resort community and circling Lake Idlewild. In fact, there's 3 lakes in Idlewild.
Okay.
And it's a whole different zip code and everything from Baldwin. Now, they are sister communities, but Idlewild, to me, was special, me and my family. And that's where we would come every summer and stay the whole summer as resorters. But we would shop, in Baldwin.
Okay.
And use the services there.
Where would you come from? You said you would come from somewhere.
I'm from Cleveland.
You're from Cleveland?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But you moved, you moved to Baldwin, or what was that? How does that work out?
Well, my family has been coming to Idlewild as resorters for 8 generations. And since Idlewild started.
Okay.
And we always spent the summer here since I was a little girl.
Okay.
1961, my grandfather built a home in Idlewild. Wow. But before that, my relatives would come and stay, just vacation.
Okay.
Now, then we decided, and the economy got so crazy, in 2003 that we would move up here permanently rather than try to keep up to. Yeah, I was born in 49.
Ooh, hallelujah. You got some history. And you're looking good, too.
Oh, well, thank you.
Well, let me ask you, I want to jump right into it. I want to jump right into this. When you, being up here all the time, did you experience any racism?
Personally?
Yes.
No. That doesn't mean it wasn't here.
Yes.
In Baldwin.
Okay.
Now in Idlewild, no, we never saw a white person in Idlewild.
Okay.
The only time you would see white people in Idlewild when I was a girl was at Letman's variety store, because they would come in there and buy ammo, hunting license, fishing license. He sold bait.
Okay.
He rented boats. He rented bicycles. But it was all us in Idlewild.
What was that in Idlewild, the Letman store? Was that right on what they call an island, or what would you call it back then, or the beach, or?
Oh, no. When you go, when you get ready to go to the bridge that comes together before the island, it was on the right-hand side, and it's gone now.
Okay.
But there's a small little building, part of it that was still left. Wow. And he had on the other side of the guardrail, there were little cottages he would rent out.
Okay, and the same owner?
Yes.
You remember, what was his name?
Archie Letman.
R.G. Letman. So the stores was named Archie, and it was the stores was named after him. That store was named after him.
Yes, he was one of the trustees of Yates Township. In fact, his name is still on the old firehouse building in Idlewild.
Wow.
And he was my grandfather that built the house.
Okay.
He was his cousin.
Okay.
My grandfather's mother was a Letman. And so was Leela Wilson.
Okay.
She was a Letman. They were all cousins.
Okay.
But Archie's home base was Detroit.
Okay.
But he had the store, and he would just stay all the warm months,
All the warm ones.
and
Okay.
bring all of his grandchildren. He had a whole lot of them, and they would run the store. They would shuffle the bait back and forth, and it was my first job there.
Your first job?
Yes.
Okay.
My sister, my baby sister, she's 3 years younger than me, and Archie had a wife, Minnie. And we sold the candy that sat in the middle of there was a candy aisle right there. We sold the candy.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Now you said that house was built in 61 in Ottawa.
Yes.
Where's that house at now?
It's on Lake Drive.
And it's still there?
Oh, yeah.
It's still in the family?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Wonderful. Pass down.
That house is, it was documented by the Centennial Committee.
Okay.
And in fact, they documented everything, but it's a brick house.
Okay.
And I put a new roof on it last year.
Okay.
And I intend to make it a museum.
Really?
Yes.
So nobody actually lives there now?
Not now.
Okay.
No.
But okay. All right.
When we first came here, we did live from Cleveland in 2003.
Okay.
We did live there, but my husband got sick and I couldn't navigate his wheelchair up and down those stairs to get him in and out. So we bought property on Foreman Road.
Okay.
And that's where I live now. But my sister and I inherited the house equally.
Okay.
And we want to make it a museum.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Now, tell me something about Ottawa. I mean, what was all in Ottawa? Do you remember the stars? Did you meet any stars back then? Or?
Everybody wants to know that. Let me tell you. First, to answer your question, yes. One time, we were going to Letman store. We would always go in there, and visit and all. And he said, "Don't leave yet. I want you to meet Della Reese."
Ooh, Della Reese.
And I said, oh, really? She's here? And he was renting her a spot. And she walked over there to Letman's to buy a lipstick.
Okay.
And he had everything in there. And I got to meet her.
Della Reese.
Della Reese.
Okay. And you were young?
I was a young girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But I have a saying that before the music, there was Idlewild.
Okay.
It was famous for the music, but Idlewild, when it was first settled, like in the early 1920s, it was the land was purchased in 1912 by the Branch brothers and others, their wives and others. But when it was first settled, Leela Wilson would go around and sell lots to people. She was from Chicago.
Okay, that's my hometown.
Okay, now that's where my granddad was born. They're from Chicago.
Okay.
And then he moved to Cleveland with my grandmother, just before my mother was born. But Leela Wilson, he used to call her Old Lady Wilson. And we would go and see her. I knew her.
Okay.
And she would go around and sell these lots to people to settle Idlewild. But it was a family place.
Okay.
It wasn't nightclubs and partying and all that. That came later.
Came later, okay.
Yes. So to give Idlewild its justice, we have to remember it was established as a family place.
Okay, that's what it was at first. Okay. Now going into when they started bringing the businesses here and everything, and what the businesses were, and who was the main person, one of the main guys?
Oh, there were. Bill Giles was.
I heard that name.
He did so much.
Had a lot of money. He must have had a lot of money and everything.
Well, I didn't know him personally.
Okay.
I was just a little girl. But Bill Giles did. He did a lot of things for Idlewild.
Wow.
And he tried to keep it for the black community.
Okay. Okay.
And whatever his business was in Detroit, I think it was, he's from, he did come out of his pocket in Ottawa. He had a hotel and restaurant, all kind of things.
All kinds of things. And you remember a lot of the things around the beach. I always hear about the skating rings, and I hear about a hamburger place or something like that. You remember some of the black-owned businesses or the businesses, because everything was mainly black-owned?
It was full of restaurants and...
right around the beach?
Oh, everywhere. Actually, you could go. I mean, I have literature on
Okay.
it. K.D. Davis, he was the photographer,
Okay.
and I knew him very well, and he knew my family. And you'd see him every year, and he would come around and take pictures. And let
Uh-huh.
me show you what he would do.
Okay.
K.D. was a very nice gentleman.
KD.
K.D.
Right.
Davis.
Okay.
He would publish these books each year.
Okay, let me take that to the camera so they can see it.
Okay.
There's the books he would publish. You can keep talking, and he would.
Everybody couldn't wait for those books to come out each year.
Wow.
He took tons of pictures,
Uh-huh.
and I think he's sold it. I think the on the red one
Uh-huh.
it says 25 cents.
Yes, it does. It says that right there, 25
yes.
cents. That's the one. And they couldn't wait till. So he was a photographer and sold this.
He, and then there was another one, Eddie Ragland. He
Okay.
was a photographer too. Now, I don't remember him having yearbooks, but
Okay.
Eddie Ragland, he would take all kinds of pictures. I wonder where those pictures are
Ah,
now, you know.
yes.
So we are kind of getting ahead of ourselves.
That's okay. No, I love it.
This, it's a picture book. I'll just hold it up if that's okay.
Yes, yes.
This, you can see how old this is.
Oh, my goodness.
The old black pages.
Oh, yes. I see some black and white pictures in
Yes, but yes, this was my grandmother, my great grandmother's album,
there. Wow.
and there's pictures in here of her and her mother, my great great grandmother, swimming in Lake Idlewild.
And you still have it preserved.
Oh yes, this is in my family.
That's amazing.
Yes, so we keep things.
Okay.
Also, this.
Uh-huh.
This,
Oh, that's nice. You know what? I'd like to show them this. Go ahead, but go ahead and explain.
Okay.
Go ahead.
let me move this out of the way so that
Okay.
it doesn't fall down, because you might want to show them
Okay.
this too. But this booklet, now it's very old.
Okay.
You know, and it might fall apart any minute.
I got you. That's why you
But
got
this was the original advertisement for Idlewild.
Okay. All right. This booklet is the original advertisement for Idlewild.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And what about those pictures now? Those black and white pictures.
Now those are all my family in Idlewild. There are other places too, but mostly Idlewild, swimming in the lake. You know, and the old Model T cars they used to drive up here in, and
Oh, really?
yes.
I would like to see some of those cars. My goodness. And I'm not a fan of older cars, but I tell you what, I do like to see them in the olden days, what they used to do out here in Idlewild.
Oh, I got some more stuff too to show you then. Now this one,
Go ahead.
now that is well known, but that
Idlewild Clubhouse.
the clubhouse. Now the reason why they had a clubhouse was because the little houses that they would rent, they call them dog houses. They didn't have kitchens. It was just a sleeping area.
Wow.
So everybody would go to the clubhouse to eat.
Okay.
And there's this building it became the skating rink, Polk skating rink.
That's what the building. Okay, so the skate ring was that building.
Yes.
Okay.
In later years.
Yes.
Yes. Right there on the island. This was the clubhouse originally. Then it became Polk's skating rink.
Wow. Now, did the man that had the skating ring, did he buy this building, or was it in his?
Now that I could not tell
Okay,
you.
all right.
So, you know, and
Yes.
by the way, my sister and I were not allowed to skate there.
Why not?
It was too rough.
Rough. How?
Oh, it was rough.
What do you mean not rough now? I mean, they were skating wild, or?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So they made another skating rink.
Yeah. Okay.
And lot owners.
Yes.
You know the Lot Owners
Yes.
Association?
Yes.
They made that building that's on the south side of the lake there.
Yep.
That was a skating rink originally,
Wow.
and we would walk there.
And so you skated there mainly. Okay, all right. Were you a good skater?
No,
Don't worry, I
no.
wouldn't.
I had my